views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I'm Daren Jaime, and today we're going to update you on what's happening in and around our borough. Coming up, we'll discuss the Democratic presidential debate with the Vice Chair of the Democratic National Convention, Assemblyman Michael Blake. Afterwards, Black Boy Rise is a healing space for boys and men of color. We're going to speak to the founder of this initiative to find out just a little bit more. And then next, we're going to learn about a college summer camp and the high school equivalency certification through the TASC preparation program that's held at Lehman College. And after that, the ABC Training Center is hosting another open house. Stay tuned, we'll give you all the details. Then we're going to introduce you to Emblaze Academy, a new charter middle school here in our borough. We'll learn more about them just a little later on in the show. So stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. And hello, everyone, and I'm Daren Jaime. Today is Wednesday, July 31st, and of course, you're watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast live simultaneously on MNN's channel. Now, you can stay connected to us via Twitter at BronxNet TV, and if you're on Facebook, you can join us on Open BronxNet Television. Well, some things have been going on through the past week. We begin now with taking you through it with some Bronx updates. The Bronx Defenders recently held a block party celebrating the community with a day of fun activities. Our BronxNet correspondent, Ashley Tiffany, brings us the story.
It may be hot outside, but the heat is not stopping the Bronx Defenders' annual community block party.
The riding the horseshoe is fun.
A day of pony rides, dance, performances, food, free haircuts, and much more to celebrate another year of the Bronx Defenders achieving their mission, radically transforming how low-income people in the Bronx are represented in the justice system.
The fact is that there's so many people in the Bronx who don't get a fair shake in the judicial system because they can't afford lawyers, and the odds are stacked against them. So I've been able to allocate capital funding and support the Bronx Defenders.
So we've been doing this for, I would say, about 15 years, but every year feels like the first because every year it just gets better and better. More community members come out, more people get to know us and what we're about. We get an opportunity to meet new people, and the energy here, it just motivates us for the work that lies ahead.
Assemblyman Michael Blake and Senator Jamal T. Bailey were also in attendance. Last but not least, rapper Fat Joe came to rep his home borough to the fullest, showing love by performing and sharing encouraging words.
No matter what's against you, you can become whatever you want to become. Don't let nobody talk you out your dreams.
Reporting for BronxNet, Ashley Tiffany.
And thank you, Ashley. Staying with community news, a Bronx-based organization is providing help with immigration status, housing, food, and a place of worship in our community. Our BronxNet correspondent, Sanji Lopez, brings us the story.
A warm meal, clothing, and services are sometimes all an immigrant family needs to push forward in a new, unknown environment, and they receive it here, along with worship, at Garifuna Community Services, headed by Director Gregoria Flores Núñez.
Garifuna Community Services nace en base a una enorme necesidad que se empezó a dar a finales del 2013 hacia el 2014, que es la inmigración masiva de niños no acompañados, jóvenes no acompañados, mujeres con sus hijos, hombres con sus hijos cruzando la frontera sur de Estados Unidos.
Flores Núñez organized marches and rallies in Honduras and is now using her migration experience with the help of other volunteers to support and guide other recently arrived immigrants through the legalization process.
Cuando empezamos a hacer las entrevistas con las familias nos dimos cuenta que había, no solamente era la necesidad de ser acompañados a la Corte de Inmigración, sino que era necesario trabajar el aspecto emocional, el aspecto espiritual y había mucha afectación, había demasiada afectación. Entonces decidimos que tenemos que hacerlo en la iglesia porque de alguna manera podíamos contar con los recursos de las iglesias para poder tratar con ellos.
And the services provided here are not only limited to those of Garifuna descent, they provide help to any and all in need.
No únicamente servimos a los garífunas, en estos 5 años hemos podido servir personas de Venezuela, de Haití, de Belice, de Guatemala, de El Salvador y cualquier otra nacionalidad que tenga la persona. Aquí el requisito es que haya sufrido algún tipo de abuso y violación de sus derechos fundamentales, porque queremos que nuestra comunidad sepa, conozca, entienda y pueda darse cuenta de que solo por el hecho de haber nacido como seres humanos tenemos derechos inherentes a nosotros. Tenemos derechos fundamentales de los cuales nosotros podemos disfrutar.
For more information about Garifuna Community Services, you may email them at garifunascs@gmail.com or call 347-389-2093. Reporting for BronxNet, Sanji Lopez.
And that's all the time we have for our Bronx updates. We're taking a quick break. We have more open coming up. Stay tuned. Right after this, we talk about the Democratic debates.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
And welcome back. The first night of the Democratic National Debates in Detroit has wrapped up. 10 candidates on the stage last night. Tonight, another 10 taking the stage. Joining us now via phone, from Detroit, providing on-the-ground presidential debate commentary is Assemblyman Michael Blake. He's also the vice chair of the Democratic National Convention and Assemblyman and Democratic chair. Good to have you. Okay. Are we hearing Assemblyman Blake?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Good to have you all here on the show. I just had a little technical difficulty to get things started, but let's get right at it. 10 took the stage last night, 10 coming up tonight, as I said, the open. Walk us through last night, and for you, what do you think the message that viewers were able to get?
Well, it was an incredible energy inside the room at Fox Theater. You know, when you are a part of a moment such as that, you try to be very present. And it is a blessing to be able to be an assembly member from the Bronx, who is a vice chair for the DNC and now running for Congress to represent the Bronx in the room like that. And when you think about how the first 45 minutes or so was spent around health care, which shows yet again that it is not just about the coverage in terms of the first piece, but the affordability and that more people need to have coverage, shows that this is a continual conversation. Of course, the dialogue around race relations and criminal justice was apparent. The continual conversation around jobs and wages and the environment. But at the end of the day, Daren, what I say to people often, we as Democrats, and we may disagree 5 to 10% of the time on policy, but we disagree with Trump and the Republicans 99% of the time. And we cannot allow a moment in a debate to be the reason why we don't have the ultimate victory, meaning that we win the White House and we get Democrats elected up and down the ballot next year.
Yeah.
And hopefully that energy continues tonight in round 2.
Well, let me talk about this because you talk about round 2. Round 2 is necessary because you have 20 candidates, 10 last night, 10 tonight. Some people say with having 20 candidates, this doesn't speak to unity for the Democratic Party. Your thoughts?
I disagree. It shows the power of our unity, and it's more than 20. It's just the ones that got on stage. When you think about how Donald Trump had to defeat a field that had 17 candidates, when you think about before with President Obama, when we ran in 2008, the field that we had, the size of that candidate field will force you to have a stronger ground operation in multiple states. It will force you to be tighter in terms of your messaging. It will force you to be clear in terms of the choice. And that's the core question. What is the choice and the contrast you're giving as a candidate? And so whether it be running locally, where I say it's about believing in the Bronx, and we're going to talk about affordable housing and what happens in those policies, that's exactly what you have to have with the presidential candidate, in which they're very clear in communicating that. Case in point, you had the dialogue around Medicare for all versus public option. You had the dialogue around environmental injustice in communities of color. You had the dialogue and the conversation around race relations. It is important to be able to communicate that. And so regardless of the size of the field, it will make you stronger as a candidate because you are running against someone in Donald Trump who we already know he is racist, he is sexist, he is misogynistic, he is xenophobic. But he is still, for whatever reason, getting 40 to 47% of people to still support him. So you have to be able to communicate why you are better to be president in the face of what you're dealing with in a Donald Trump.
Well, question here is a lot of people have said in order for Democrats to really win the House, or I should say win the White House, you have to have more than an anti-Trump message. Do you agree?
100%.
And so
totally agree.
Right. So when we talk about a couple of the issues, I looked at some of the takeaways from last night. Medicare, Bernie Sanders saying, quote, "I wrote the damn bill." When you talk about issues of racial relations, you're in Detroit, just a few seconds away from Flint, Michigan. I think when you talk about hearing the issues, Americans are definitely wanting to hear more about the issues. What are the more prevalent issues? I mean, we talked about a couple of them, but what are some of the other ones that you feel need to be put on the table if the Democrats are going to win the White House as well as both houses and the House and the Senate?
Well, I think that I do believe that we as Democrats were talking about the issues very clearly yesterday, and that there's just differences in how to get there. I think Daren asked me much more conversation around housing, and in particular public housing and affordable housing. And I would expect that when you have multiple candidates of color on stage tonight, multiple candidates from New York, multiple women on stage, that framing and dialogue will happen. I believe that there has to be greater conversation around equity when it comes to minority and women-owned businesses, job creation, skills, and wages. We heard that talk emerge a few times, but really doubling down in terms of how do we have practical impact on the ground so that you don't have someone in Trump saying black unemployment, Latino unemployment, lowest in history, et cetera, et cetera. The reality is what we did in the Obama administration when I was there and so many others were there is what contributed to the group causes of making this progress. And so it is important that we do talk about those issues very clearly, very succinctly. But equally, though, I do not think we can ignore that you have to be forceful and clear and demonstrative when you're running against the bully. It is the reason why 149 of us did an op-ed in the Washington Post last week to denounce the rhetoric of Donald Trump, because I do not believe it's coincidental that in the days after Mueller, when he's trying to deflect people, he then attacks 4 women of color in Congress, attacks Elijah Cummings, attacks Baltimore. Yes, it is a racist distraction, but it is a distraction. And so you have to be able to be very clear and strong with that framing. And that's why I think people are looking to that. They want to know, are you ready to battle with someone who is, if he's willing to say this now, this far out from an election, imagine what he'll say then when we get up close to the election. So, yes, you got to be very clear against Trump, but the vision forward around housing and jobs and education and student loans, which came up yesterday, and addressing that debt, has to go a step further, and we expect to hear that from our Democratic candidates even more.
And when we talk about having more than 20 candidates involved in this race for president, a lot of people are asking the question, will you be able to unify as a party, given the fact that when you get down to one, given the fact there's so many people that have entered their name into the ring, will that support be there as a unified party?
100%. You know, I always tell people, you can have Thanksgiving dinner and argue all night long, and then we still hug you and kiss you and tell you I love you when we leave from there. And so there's just different vision and approaches. When we think about the dynamics, for example, in the South Bronx, you will have in some communities the conversation of what do we do to make sure we're empowering our Dominican sisters and brothers as we need to. And simultaneously, the Puerto Rican community, especially given what's going on the island. In the African community, in terms of making sure we're focused on the language access. In African-American community, where criminal justice is a continuing conversation, as well as education and minority women-owned businesses. And so I say that to say, if we have that variance here and still say we are Bronxites and we will come together and we believe in the Bronx and we will mobilize together, that is exactly the same expectation we should have of our Democratic candidates on the presidential level. And so when we're talking through the issues of the day, absolutely, I want to hear how will you get more people covered when it comes to health care, and how are we going to address the cost of that? We absolutely want to hear what are you going to do to address the challenges when it comes to skills and wages to make sure our sisters and brothers of labor are protected while simultaneously helping make sure that when someone is graduating from school, they're not saddled with debt. We want to hear how are you going to be very clear that women should clearly decide what to do with their own body, and that I can be a man and a feminist at the same time. That's the framing that we want to hear. And yes, there may be nuances and differences and conversations along that line, but will we come together? Yes, because I do not believe this is an extreme comment I'm about to make. Donald Trump is the most dangerous president that has ever been the president, period. And you cannot allow this presidency to continue in this way. The reason why I called for impeachment, the reason why so many people are moving forward and also amplifying that argument. And so we will come together around the greater responsibility and cause of saying Donald Trump has to be out of office. And that is the reason why many of us are stepping up and saying we have to have a national voice. Daren, lastly, hopefully the presidential conversation is showing people that, yes, we may have differences of opinion, but what happens on the national level impacts you on the ground. You care about affordable housing, you got to care about area median income. If you care about what's happening with your student loans, you have to care about around loan forgiveness. These are the issues that we're talking through, that we talk through, of course, in our local race. And you can see that at Blake for Congress at NYC. You can see that on the national candidates. You will see that continue conversation. But at the end of the day, we all understand we have to win for the people, and unity is more critical than uniformity.
All right, Assemblyman Michael Blake, we will leave it right there. He is also the Vice President for the Democratic National Committee. Michael Blake, our guest here, of course. Thank you so much for sharing with us here on Open.
Always good to talk to you, Daren. Take care.
All right, good to talk to you. Once again, to remind you, tonight's debate, Wednesday, will feature actually three from the New York area, Senator Christian Gillibrand. You've also got Cory Booker, as well as New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Those are actually the three locals who will actually be represented on the stage tonight in Detroit. Of course, we continue to follow the Democratic National Debate, have more political news right here every Wednesday here on Open. Taking a quick break. We've got more shows. Stay with us. We're coming right back right after this.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
About inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com. Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And thank you for staying with us. The Lehman College Summer Camp is one of the most comprehensive as well as affordable day camps in the Bronx for ages 6 through 12. Now, Lehman College also offers many other programs, I should say, such as the TASC Preparation High School Equivalency Certification. Joining us now to tell us more is Julie Beth Veras, who is the Summer Camp Director and TASC Coordinator at Lehman College School of Continuing and Professional Studies. Good to have you.
Thank you.
You guys do not offer problems.
No problems
no
at all.
problems.
Solutions.
No
No
problems, right?
That's right.
And so one of the solutions that you provide is for parents, right? Summer camp. And it's actually getting close to coming to a close, but you got a great camp.
Yes. So we're having a lot of fun this year. July session came to an end, and now we're currently in week 1 of our second session. 2 weeks left, and then it's over. I'm sad because I plan all year, so it just happens so fast every year.
It goes by so quick, right?
So quick. But we are going to begin registration February of 2020 for the summer camp again. So it's finishing, but it's a start to a new planning year. So I'm very excited about that as well.
So if you want to get involved for next year, you still can get close to...
Yes, definitely. Right. So if you want to get involved for next year, I'm sure that my contact information is
it's
up.
On the screen. We
yes,
got you.
So you can reach out to me, and you could just visit our office, which is located in Carmen Hall, room 128, here at Lehman College, of course, and submit your application in February of 2020.
Talk to me a little about the TASC program, because a lot of people aren't so familiar.
Yes, so a lot of people know TASC as GED, but after 2014, it's been rebranded to TASC. So now we call it TASC, Test Assessing Secondary Completion. And basically we have a great program here. I don't like to toot my own horn, but we are the largest. I must. We are the largest testing center in the Bronx. It's a free exam. You must be 19 years of age or older in the state of New York to be eligible to take it. So everyone is welcome in our community who can prove that they've been here for 30 days, resident of NYC for 30 days. They can come in and submit their application at our room 128 in Carmen Hall.
And so for the program, how's it transcended down through the years? You've seen a lot of growth.
Yes, definitely. It's been a lot of work, a lot of structuring, but it is a blessing to give back to our community and help them get their lives back on track. We'd like them to understand that it starts here. It starts here with our TASC program, and then you can go on to be a Lehman College student, which is our goal for all of our examinees. So it's only the beginning when you take the examination with us, and then you can open up the door to certificate programs, because at Continuing Education we have certificate programs. So you can either start a certificate program or go into college as a Lehman College student after taking your TASC.
What are you finding with people who take the test? Are they immediately transitioning? Are they waiting a little bit, or are they going?
It definitely depends on their background background experience. We have a lot of adults who are working, who are parents. So realistically speaking, not everyone can join college, semester after they complete their TASC exam, but we do have a lot of students who join certificate programs. They may go off to a community college and get a start there and then work their way up to the 4-year. So the possibilities are literally endless, but we are here and we are here to help. Yes, take you to the next step.
Right, so we got TASC, we got the camp going, you got a lot of things going.
It's a lot, but it is a blessing and it's so much fun.
So how long does the preparation go for summer camp?
So I literally start planning, we start planning as a department. Everyone at Continuing Education is amazing, and everyone is in tune with our program. So it's a team effort. We work together to create this summer camp, basically. So we start in October of every year, and then we finalize literally June of every year. So it takes that long due to permits, supplies, contacting parents, reaching out. The outreach process takes a long time, but it is beautiful.
What kind of numbers are you seeing this year?
What kind of numbers as far as students?
Yeah.
Yes. So our cap is 125 for the entire summer. So we were really close to reaching our cap, which I was really happy about. So yes, we've had good numbers this year.
Yeah, and when you think about, during the summertime, a lot of people are traveling and going away, but what we do find is like they're coming through and they're taking part.
Yes, we have lots of working parents, and for that reason, they need a place to stay in the summertime. But we're more than a camp. We're not just a camp. We're not a daycare. None of that. We do a little bit of everything. So we have 12 courses that we offer. The children go to yoga, swimming, martial arts, reading and writing circle. We have introduction to comic book making. We have the language of the year is American Sign Language. So it's an all-around camp, all exclusive. It's amazing. Everyone is welcomed, and basically we do that all year.
Yeah, so I want to tell people the second camp is going on now, and it is about to come to an end, but certainly if you want to get connected to it, find out more information so that way you're in the queue for next year. And then also about the TASC program. People are having the opportunity to still register.
Yes, so September 9th, that is when we're going to be opening our doors for registration. So you can literally submit an application in Lehman College here, Carmen Hall, room 128. All you have to do is come in with your state ID or proof of residency to prove that you've been here for 30 days. Must be 19 years of age or older, and you'll submit your application and get on-the-spot confirmation for the next available date. And that's going to happen on September 9th at 9 a.m.
That's great information. Julie Beth, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And certainly we want people to take advantage of TASC, summer camp, and keep the great work going.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, Julie Beth Veras with us. Listen, now if you want more information on any of these programs, we encourage you, visit lehman.edu/SCPS or call 718-960-8512. Once again, that number is 718-960-8512. We encourage you, stay tuned. We've got more information, more open coming up right after this.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
And we are glad to have you back here on Open. One of the great things we have about our show is the opportunity to introduce you to some organizations that are doing some great things. And if you're interested in making a future in health careers, well, we want you to listen up. The ABC Training Center will be holding another open house, sharing more information and opportunities to the public. And here to tell us a little bit more about ABC is Dave Hurwitz. He's director of ABC Training Center. Ola Abadu, who's the field recruiter, and Prithvi Sami, who's the community outreach coordinator. I got it all right, right?
That's right.
Batting 1,000. Dave, good to have you.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Good. So we're up around the corner, up around the corner, I should say. Open house coming up this Friday.
Yes, sir. Friday, noon to 4, open to the public. We are, again, spreading the word about ABC.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming up on our 50th year next year of operation in the Bronx as a career health care training center and job placement operation. We've got certified nurse aide training, home health aide, medical assistant, pharmacy tech, a number of others. We've won every scholastic award you can win. We're licensed by the New York State Department of Education. We've got a 96% job placement success rate. We've got an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and we want people to come in and see what we're all about on Friday.
Right. So Prithvi, people have the opportunity to come and talk about those who've come so far. And, you know, there's a lot of people come from the community, get involved, get engaged, but at the same time, they have an opportunity to do something that changes their career.
Yes, we have some students that maybe even do career transitions, and they come from business and they want to switch over to healthcare, and it's just amazing to see, you know, when you come in with that type of expectation, and then you're able to track the student from start to finish and make sure that they complete it successfully, and they are already on their way to working once they get that license, which is.
And Ola, share a little bit about what you do.
So I'm here for Advanced Care Staffing, and Advanced Care Staffing is one of the leading agencies in New York. We've been operating for over 10 years now. We hire CNAs, LPNs, and RNs, and we are partners with ABC. And part of the reasons why we partnered with ABC is because we've hired a lot of their graduates. Their students are professional, reliable, and they're ready to work, which is very important. Yeah. So part of, in advanced care as well, we have benefits. We give we give full-time and part-time work, and we have facilities in all boroughs. We will have a table at ABC's open house this Friday, so anyone that wants to stop over to ask more questions and get more information, we will be there to hire individuals on the spot as well.
Oh, amazing. That's a great thing, actually being able to be hired on the spot. And an opportunity to exposure for a career that some people, you know, they go and they want to get a job, but then so they have a hard time doing, but you guys are really opening the door where people can really take employment that day.
Yes, one of the things I'd like people to know is that the health career sector has more job openings than people to fill them. These are the jobs that are readily available and quickly. So if anybody's watching this morning that doesn't have a job to go to today, maybe they're on unemployment, maybe they're searching the want ads, can you come up, for example, with $600 in 2 installments? And have you got 3 weeks to give us? Do those 2 things and bang, you'll be working. We have recruiters from about a dozen different agencies that come to the school. So we bring the jobs literally to you.
Right.
And we've been doing it for close to 50 years.
Mm-hmm. Are we seeing people gravitate to a particular field?
Well, we offer different varied programs depending on what it is that you are like good at. Like, so if it's administration, something more, you know, behind the scenes, you would do something like medical billing and coding. I also want to add at the open house today, Friday, on August 2nd, we're also offering a Narcan demonstration and free blood pressure checks for the public. So it's more than welcome. Anyone is welcome to come and join us.
And talk about community response, because I know part of your work is engaging the community.
That's right. So my last project, when I was last on here, we visited a lot of high schools in the Bronx, and it was a very positive outcome. I did a lot of panel discussions in the auditoriums and some demonstrations where I was able to speak to the high school students one-on-one, what they're looking for as far as their career trajectory. That was interesting because, you know, they get to be more aware that these technical and career schools are available to give them a step into their career through an internship.
Now, Ola, what's it mean to have this kind of partnership with ABC? I mean, you know, to have partnership with an organization, to be able to find people and place people, it's got to be good for you.
So part of the reasons that, you know, we also partner with ABC is that a lot of the CNA students, it's very hard for them to get jobs even after they've taken the state board or they've finished with their courses. And we were able to make a lot of students get hired on the spot working with them. So a lot of students that have tried over the years to get a job at, you know, the facilities, we're there for them to hire them on the spot, being that ABC they do thorough training with them. So when we present ourselves to their students, we're able to make it happen with the facilities that we have to offer them. And we have facilities in all boroughs that I mentioned. So even if they're in Staten Island, Westchester, Far Rockaway, we have work for them.
We can get to you. Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming and sharing. Great work. And we're going to give the people the final information about ABC and the open house in a second. Dave, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for
coming.
Thank you. Keep up the great work. Well, I want to let you know again that ABC Training Center open house is actually taking place on Friday from 12 to 4 at 50 East Fordham Road. Now, if you want more information, call 718-364-6700 or visit the abctrainingcenter.net or send an email to the address that's below at the bottom of the screen. And we encourage you, don't go anywhere. We've got more open coming up right after this. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it.
For all the papas out there, let's stop what we're doing and take a moment. A moment to be with our kids. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, kooky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count because every time dads take a moment to be with their kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's all take a moment to make a moment today.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
And thank you for staying with us. Black Boy Rise is an anti-oppression educational platform organizing boys and men of color in New York City from grades 8 through 12. And joining us now to tell us more about it is the founding facilitator of Black Boy Rise, Luis Alejandro Tapia. And thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you.
Hey, doing some great work.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we talk about really dealing with young men of color. Of course, in America, a lot of challenges. But you are taking the bull by the horns and saying, I want to be a force, and I want to give them a place and a space. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, so what we do is we carve out spaces for young men and boys of color to really get into deep conversation, to really get into deep relationship building around their own identities, right? So young men, young boys, and I say men and boys because we have it so that it is 8 through 12, and we also have mentorship opportunities. We also have facilitation opportunities. So even though a lot of the curriculum is focused for boys, it's built by the boys, but it's also facilitated by the men that come and want to be big brothers to these boys, right? And so in those opportunities, which we don't often see in spaces, right? What we often see is, let's put the boys in the gym, give them basketball, that'll solve an issue, right? Let's show them how to sharpen a knife or go hiking or, you know, or even like shine their shoes and know how to dress up, right? And that's great. Those have been modes of survival for a long time. And now what's happening is young men, right? And I say that from personal experience, are developing these shells of like, wait, is this what it actually means to be a man? And so we're creating opportunities for young men really to be self-engaged in their own development around what masculinity means, right? So they get to self-define what it means to be a young black boy. We get to self-define what it means to be a black man, right? Regardless of what the media has told us, regardless of what the president have told about, you know, have said things about us, we get to do that with each other.
And what do you hear when you have these conversations with these young men? Because obviously, what I tell people is the young people of today face a lot more different challenges than, you know, our older counterparts. And today's challenges are really deep.
They're deep, and I think because of social media, because of the amount of information that our young people receive, that we receive, what happens is that we're even further disconnected from each other. Right? And so there aren't spaces where there are young people talking, and there aren't spaces where older people are talking with young people, right? Like how many spaces are intergenerational that we can count off the top of our head? Not many, right? And usually if it is, it's usually kind of like a career panel, right? Let me tell you how to be a man, as opposed to let me sit here and be here for you and listen to you. And so I think that there's not deep relationships that are being built with our young black men, right? There's not. And also, there's not spaces that are specifically for the betterment, for the betterment of young black boys, but also by the young black men, right? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to talk about? Who is it that needs to listen to the things that you need to say?
So how are you getting these young men?
Yeah, and so there's different ways. I think recently we were invited by a few high schools in the Bronx to come in and do some work with the young men that they felt were kind of like, you know, we want them here. They've been kind of like in the hallways hanging out. What can we do with them? And so we introduced our program to them, and also let them know that this is about choice, right? So this is not about compliance, right? Black Boy Rise is not about like, show us your troubled kids and we're gonna like calm them down. No, right? We're gonna listen. What is it? What is it? Is it because you don't have the right relationships in the school? Is it because maybe some of the like things, right, are hard? Some of the skills that you need to learn in school are hard. And so how can we serve you, right? And so organizations have been in contact with us through social media, through Instagram, right? Everyone's on the gram nowadays.
Right.
So that's how most people are getting in contact with us.
Yeah.
And when they see me.
Right. Well, that no question they see you now. I'm thinking about like many times young people get disappointed real quick, you know. People say, I'm going to be there, I'm not there, this, that. You look at today, the president, the words that are coming out of his mouth. What is the method of encouragement that you're giving to these young men to say, hey, you know what, rise?
Yeah. I mean, it's in the name, right? Black Boy Rise, right? So the premise is already that we understand that you are magical. We understand that you are intelligent. We understand that you are special. We understand that you have knowledge, right? And so those are words that maybe they haven't heard before, right? I know it took me some time to grow to really like hear it. And maybe people may have told it to me, but there was a particular time when I started hearing it and understanding it and seeing it myself. So really, it's really in the relationships, right? Like, young people know if you're honest or not.
Yeah.
Right? They'll call you out. They'll be like, oh, you fake.
Right.
Right? And also, they'll kind of stay close to see if they can trust you or not. Right? And so we can really build deep relationships, which all of our facilitators are trained facilitators and know that relationship is key. That is what is like, that's what brings our young men in, right? We start small. We're not trying to say we want to recruit 500 boys. We're trying to say is where are these young men that want to have these conversations, and we'll be there. Whether it's 5, whether it's 15, whether it's 50.
Beautiful. So if people want to get in touch with you, what are they doing?
Yeah. So we do retreats, one-day retreats. And so we'll drop into like a community center, a boys club, and do a whole day retreat. We'll bring facilitators, we'll bring workshops. But we also do a curriculum for half of a school season. So schools, the DOE, we have a DOE contract also, can contact us to see if that's something that they'd like. Either one-day things or kind of like a continued curriculum.
And you mentioned it's not just you. Of course, you got a contract
got a
people
whole
with you.
squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A whole squad comes
I'd love
with
to see you in one of those.
If you call, I'll come.
Boom.
That's it. It's real simple.
Yeah.
All right? So you call, I'll come. So want to let people know about Black Boy Rise, and there is a leadership retreat.
There is a leadership retreat. We might have one coming up actually in Camden. Right? So Camden has called us and be like, yo, we want you guys out here. And so we might be out there this fall coming up. And they can reach us at LouKnows.com/BlackBoyRise, at BlackBoyRise, at LouKnowsGood. You can find us.
Well, keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, Daren.
Hey, appreciate you, and make sure that we'll get people connected to you. And of course, we hope that if you want more information about, visit LouKnows.com/BlackBoyRise and follow Lou on Instagram at BlackBoyRise and Lou Knows Good. Now, don't go anywhere. We do have more show coming up. We'll be right back right after this.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
And we are back here on Open Emblaze Academy. It's a new charter school, and it's a charter middle school located right here in the borough of the Bronx, founded on the belief that all students, regardless of race, socioeconomic status, home, language, or zip code, can learn and achieve at high levels when held to the highest expectations. Students at Emblaze recently had a media training with classes of two of our very own BronxNet staff members. Now, here to tell us more about Emblaze Academy, the mission, the curriculum, the partnership, are Ariane Rojas, Malcolm Wicks, Brittany Baker from Emblaze Academy, along with Nicholas Marrero and William Guzman from BronxNet. We welcome you all to the discussion. Good to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Good. So for somebody who doesn't know about Emblaze, how would you define this charter school?
Okay.
Well, Emblaze Academy is a charter school that is focused on the South Bronx. We focus on having a rigorous curriculum partnered with high-level instruction from passionate teachers to push our students to be successful in high school, college, and the world beyond. We definitely believe in also building intrinsic and extrinsic motivators for our students, which is where that culture piece comes in.
So talk about culture.
Most definitely. So students, we have something called a ROD system. Students come to school every single day. They get 20 scholar dollars just for showing up to the school. Now, of course, you get scholar dollars. We're wondering, what do you do with the scholar dollars? We have something called a school store where they could buy a lot of, slime or pencils or any cool things that they like to play with.
Right.
The reason why I say slime is because that's mainly what they bought up last year in the school store. But the money could also be used for other things like incentives. We do something called school auction, where teacher auction off things. I know I did the studio last year. Ms. Rojas had took a few students to get their hair done. Ms. Baker had took a few students shopping. You have cupcakes with teachers. So it's all kind of cool things that we could do with the scholar dollar system.
Right.
With the ROD system, R is for respect, I is for initiative, S is for scholarship, and E is for effort, and we hold them to those standards every single day. They get 4 ROS points per class, a total of 32. It was 28 last year, but we added a dance class, so now they get a total of 32 ROS points per day. And at the end of each week, whichever class is ahead, they get a ROS prize. And a ROS prize is usually like a dress down day or, a homework pass or, a piece of lunch, and they just keep building up.
So this is like learning out of the box.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing, our founder and head of school, Ms. Kristen Schroff, when she designed the school, it was with the flame in mind. What does it mean for our students to carry that torch and make sure that the Bronx has a positive narrative, like really being proud of where you come from, your neighborhoods? Our classrooms are named after Bronx neighborhoods. So last year we had Morrisania, Mount Haven, and Melrose. We named our storage room Hunts Point. We had Southern Boulevard. We had 3rd Avenue. We had Morris Park. It's really like making sure our students are proud of where they come from and really creating that positive trajectory about the Bronx.
So Emblaze has this partnership with BronxNet, and you've got two of our very own finest back there. And I'll start with Will. So talk about the project and what you guys did in working with Emblaze.
Well, it was an interesting project because when they first presented to me the offer, I took it because I love kids. But here's the issue: I didn't have a curriculum.
Right.
I didn't know what I was going to do. Right. So my curriculum was to do it what the kids wanted to do, along with some of the ideas that I had. So we went out and we interviewed the other electives. We went out, we did a slime video with our last trimester class. We did ENN, which was their own news network at the beginning, which was, they wanted to do a school calendar, but in the form of morning news, similar to what you do. So we did that. We interviewed Mr. Wicks when he had his basketball with the boys, I believe. Co-ed, yeah. We did that. We did an interview with Ms. Rojas' apprenticeship program, which was a really cool experience. The kids learned how to do some work in school. We did dance, we did arts, we did
trimester showcase.
Yeah, trimester showcase. And then the best part was when we filmed the graduation. When that was the best moment because
Really?
we saw all those kids grabbing the
So Nicholas, what was your takeaway in working?
Well, it was just a phenomenal experience to be, collaborating with both BronxNet and Emblaze Academy. Everyone's been so welcoming. The students, they come in very engaged, each day, eager, ready to learn. It's a matter of fact to come in each day and the students are presenting ideas that, blow us away with each day. Some of the kids, I can tell they have a bright future ahead in media production. Like 2 of our students who are upstairs right now, they did the slime video and they came in prepared knowing what to do. And we were just blown away from the start.
Yeah, and I think what it is impacting kids in a different kind of way. When you talk about, reaching kids, everybody can't be reached in the same trajectory, right? So you guys are going about it in a different kind of way. So when people are trying to find out how to be a part of school, what do they do?
So they can go to our website, emblazeacademy.org. If you put /enroll, you can direct yourself to the application, and you will be placed on our wait list. We do have open seats right now for 5th and 6th graders, so I do encourage all our families in the Bronx, please apply. We will really look forward to having you as part of our school.
Yeah. And you talked about some of the different things you guys do for students. And, I heard, whether it's going to the store, taking them to get their hair done, something, it's different. What do you feel the students get out of this?
They get more than just being students. They actually feel like human beings. We make school fun for them. Learning is supposed to be fun. Education is supposed to be fun. When they step inside the building, they understand that, all the teachers there is all there for their best interest. We all there for love, we all there for respect, and we all there to build one torch, one flame, and that's Emblaze.
We definitely believe in family and educating the whole child, which is how we have our electives program, and we partner with BronxNet, and so our students have the opportunity to explore things outside of just math, science, reading, history, and writing. And so students are able to explore their passions, and we're able to see their creative side. And so I think at Emblaze Academy, students feel that they can be anything that they want to be. There's a teacher there that cares about them, and there's someone there who's going to motivate them to get to where they want to be.
I see this a lot. Talk about it.
We use hand signals.
agree,
that
yeah.
means agree.
Okay.
Throw some shine, and this is agree.
Okay.
I also want to add something. So when designing the partnership with BronxNet, we really wanted our students to understand that education is also about career and technical readiness, and really understanding life skills. Like, we are very intentional about our curriculum and about our design, our electives. Everything we do in the school is aimed toward a greater purpose, like making sure our students, like Mr. Wick said, are acknowledged as human beings, and that they have passions, they are intentional, and that they feel happy where they are and where they're heading to. So that was really the motivation with BronxNet. And then, of course, Will and Nick were like the ribbon to the prize, right? They were like extremely incredible working with our students.
They're part of our family.
They're part of the family?
Yeah, that's it.
They're part of the Emblaze family.
Really?
It's my second home.
I guess I can see how you can adopt them. They're all right. They're all right. Well, thank you all. And certainly we want to see more. And so hopefully we'll get a chance to see some more of the work, and however we can partner and make things better. Certainly keep doing a great job.
Most definitely.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. You two, y'all stay right there. All right. Now listen, to find out more, visit emblazeacademy.org. Want to let you know that we have come to the end of our show today. Want to thank all of our guests for joining us, but most of all, want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recablecast at 5 and 10 p.m. on Optimum's Channel 67, Verizon Files, that would be Channel 33, or watch anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. Special shout out to those who are watching on the MNN channel as Open is broadcast live simultaneously. Give a shout out to my sister Ann. That about wraps it up for us here on the set of Open. I'm Daren Jaime. Make sure you keep this channel wide open. Take care, and God bless. See you soon.
We are there, day one, with baby names and a gift that lasts a lifetime. We are there as you grow, protecting you and those you love. And we are there as you start your next chapter. We are with you through life's journey. We are Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. Get to know us at socialsecurity.gov.
This video produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.